Živjo, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivy, and let's look at what books I was reading in February. So the first book is called Fables and Other Lies. Interesting story. It's it's very gothic and dark. So the story is of a curse and a family being at war. You can think of like Romeo and Juliet, just a lot darker, more gothic, with witches and making deals with the devil. This is the devil's chair. You sit on it and you wait for him to come and you tell him your wish. Ta-da! Penelope returns back to Pan Island, to her home, because of her father's passing. Even though I don't think she was that much missed, she was kicked out of her home for 1, not believing her, and 2, for a misunderstanding. So she had to make a living for herself. So she came back just to bury her father. Also, this takes place in a country where there was at war. And when the war was ended, they kind of then have this carnival every single year. And in the carnival, the tradition is there's a host who is chosen, usually a male, and that host chooses a woman who will end the night with him. Usually if a man is married, he would either choose a woman that he either loves or she's engaged to him or whatever. But in this case, the host was the son River of the rival family, and he chose Penelope to spend the night. But she didn't only spend one night, but an entire week. And in that time, she learned, remembered, and believed in the curse and tried to break it, to set everyone free and to be with the one she loves. Obviously, this is enemies to lovers book, so they end up together. It was an interesting story. She also discovered about her family, how this curse started. It was actually her family's fault. So, spoiler, I guess. But the rest, if you want to know what everything else about the book, you have to read it yourself. I think it was okay. I enjoyed it. So there we go. The second one, Untying the Knot. I enjoyed this book a lot. Beautiful story, but also very heart-wrenching. The way Mila and Riot met and how fate keeps bringing them together. It's like you met and a year passes and somehow you meet again and again, and they didn't date or even become friends, but at some point he was interested to be with her. But Mila told Riot of her childhood and why she didn't want to give him a chance, but he wanted to prove to her in so many ways that he is the man for her. Until things start to change. They get married, and that's when all starts to fall apart. Here we learn what happened, whether this can be fixed, and how will they fix it, or will the divorce be the only option for them to end it all. And the love these characters have for one another is just beautiful, even though they did infuriate me at some points, but love them anyway. So this is like the third book, but it's a standalone. There are 2 more. I hope I will find them. I want to read them because the characters are introduced here and the marriage that they were, his friends are getting married and they are from the other 2 books. And yeah, so I'm kind of interested to read those 2 as well. So I hope I will find it. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was a great book. Now, not so romantic. We have thriller, mystery, horror, and holiday. This is You Will Be Mine. The story is easily written and easy to understand. It happened from, basically what I wanted to say is holiday. It takes in the time of February with Valentine's Day. That's what I want to say. So it happens from February 1st towards 14th. Our girl Lila doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day because it is her parents' death anniversary. But her friends do, 3 boys and 3 girls that she's sharing an apartment with. Oh, she's in college. So just so you know, these are very young people. Layla has a crush on Chase, who is her roommate, and is hoping their relationship will turn romantic and not just stay as friends. Lila's brother keeps calling her for her to come home for the anniversary, but she refuses, and things are starting to get dark in the campus as they are where they are staying, threatening letters, and who will be next on the list to die as one by one of Lila's friends get killed. They suspected Jack or Jake, anyway, an old friend, but they jumped to this conclusion too fast that even I did not completely believe they would be him. Not to mention they also put his family on a spotlight, not even know if it's truly him that he's the killer, and it's really not. But when the killer is caught, they thought it was over, but is it? I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's easily written, easy to understand. I saw who is the killer like more towards the ending than you were going of the book. You start to understand, oh, they were completely wrong. I think it's this guy. And it really is. Also, the name Lila, and there's an officer called Gray, immediately it threw me to my first book, Lila, because that's her name, and there's a guy named Gray, and they're together. Kind of made me giggle when I was reading that, but no, there's no connection. Enjoyed it. I liked it. And the last book, Anatomy, a Love Story. The reason I was reading this book for such a long time is because this month has been kind of dark. A lot of death has been happening, like either for my coworkers, even in my own family, and I guess what you would call a reading slump when you just are not focused in a book. Sadly, I was feeling it when I was reading this one, so that's why it's so low. Maybe if I give it a second shot, maybe I will enjoy it more. But what is this book about? It takes place in 1800s, and it's about a girl named Hazel who wants to become a surgeon. But at those times, women weren't allowed to do much. They were bred to be wed, especially girls from rich families, and Hazel was from a rich family. She learned a lot about medicine through books, sneaked into a theater for demonstration on surgery, even dressed as a boy to get lectures. But someone knew her, and she was kicked out. So for her to learn more about anatomy of the human body, she found a boy who helped her before named Jack, and found out that he is a resurrection man. Basically a man who digs up dead bodies and sells them to the doctors to examine and to learn from it. They pay more money if it's a female and pregnant. Kind of messed up. Of course, Hazel and Jack are falling for one another, but Hazel is already engaged, but she never truly felt much for her future husband, who is her cousin, by the way. Hazel found out a lot about the doctor that she admired and to who she sneaked into the theater to watch the surgery. She found out that he is immortal. He gives her a chance to be one as well, but she rather gives the potion to Jack to save his life. Not a fan of the ending, but I do have to say that I like Hazel because she was not a pushover. She believed in what she wants to become, what she wants to do, and she just went with it. She didn't allow no man to tell her that she can't do that. So I did like that. She was a strong character. Enjoy it. She was also like, as a female, you're emotional, but she was also strong. She was great. So, that was that. That was all the books that I was reading this month. Actually, if I have to choose one book out of these four that I like the most, it's this one. I had so much fun reading this book. It's so good. I highly recommend it. If you don't mind the spice, go read. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Ciao!